Hello students, in the previous class we have learned about the derivation of the Schrodinger equation. Now in this video we are going to discuss about the particle that is moving in the one-dimensional box. So by understanding this concept we can understand how the energy levels of an atom are quantized. So this is very simple method to understand that concept. So here we can compare a particle moving in a one-dimensional box with the electron motion of the electrons in a wire. Okay. So here one-dimensional box means only in the one direction. Here other two directions are not considered. That one direction may be x or y or z. If it is the x-axis, we don't consider the movement of the electron in the y and z directions. Okay. So here the motion of the particle in one dimensional box is like the flow of the electron in a wire, and here we have to assume that the particle mass of the particle is m, and here the boundaries of the box, one dimensional box, are 0 and a. Here the direction or the axis in which this one dimensional box is oriented is represented here with the x. We may represent it with y or z also, but here we are representing with the x. So here that one dimensional box boundaries are x is equal to 0 and x is equal to a, and the potential energy within the box is 0. It is constant, and here we present as consider it as the 0. Potential energy as a 0 in the box, and outside of the box the potential energy is infinity. That means there is a large gap between the potential energy of the particle in the box and the potential energy out of the box. So as a result, what happens, the movement of the particle is confined to that box only, restricted to that box only, because it cannot overcome that large energy gap. No? So that's why the particle retains in that box only. Here we can picturize this idea into like this. Here this is x boundary, x is equal to 0 boundary, and this is x is equal to a boundary, and potential energy of the particle within the box is 0, and the potential energy of the particle or potential energy out of the box is infinity, v infinity. Okay. Now we know the Schrodinger equation because already we have derived that one. That is Schrodinger equation is like this: dou square psi by dou x square plus dou square d square psi by dy square plus d square psi by dz square plus 8 phi square m by h square into e minus v into psi is equal to 0. So this is the Schrodinger equation. No? So here all the three directions are covered: x-axis, y-axis, and z-axis. So here we concise this equation to one direction only, one dimension only. As a result, what happens? The Schrodinger equation, when concised to one direction, it becomes like this. Now we consider the equation 1. We know that V is the potential energy and M is the mass of the particle, whether it may be electron or the other particle, and H is the Planck constant. Psi is the amplitude of the electronic wave. Now here we apply the conditions and we check how this Schrodinger equation changes. And as already we have stated that out of the box potential energy is infinity. No? So as a result, the equation 1 becomes like this. So in the place of v, we will write infinity. We will write infinity. And as compared to the infinity value, the energy value is very less. This energy value is less compared to the infinity value. As a result, what happens? We can neglect that. As a result, equation 2 becomes uh, like this. What is that? Dou square psi dou x square plus 8 phi square m by h square into minus infinity. So the equation becomes like this. Because here we are arbitrarily neglecting the e. Because compared to the, I write once again, look here, this is the second equation. Here we would write e, that but as it is very less than the infinity, we write it as 0, or we can neglect that. As a result, what happens? The equation becomes like this: d square psi by dx square minus 8 phi square m h square into infinity. And we know very well that something into infinity is equal to infinity. Something into infinity is equal to infinity. As a result, in the place of 8 phi square m upon h square into infinity, simply we can write infinity. Simply we can write infinity. As a result, look here, we get this equation. Okay, and if we take this minus infinity into side to other side, what happens? It becomes positive. So it becomes as d square psi by d x square is equal to infinity into psi. Otherwise, we can write the equation for the psi as, what is that? Psi is equal to the 1 upon infinity into d square psi upon dx square. So like that we can write. Okay, so here we can consider it as the equation 3. So we can consider as the equation 3. Okay, now we move to the next condition. So equation 3 is obtained by putting the boundary, or putting the v is equal to infinity in the place of potential energy. And if we take 0 potential energy, then the Schrodinger equation 1 changes to equation 4 here. So look at, we get this one, because e minus 0 becomes e only. E minus 0 becomes e. So here we get this only. So now the equation 1 becomes as d square upon dx square plus 8 phi square m upon h square into e psi is equal to 0. So we consider as the equation 4. So equation 3 is obtained by taking potential energy as infinity, and equation 4 is obtained by taking potential energy as 0. Now, for a given state of energy system, the energy is constant. So look here, as energy is constant, what we do means, in the place of 8 phi square m upon h square into e, we take this k square value. K is another constant, and it is independent of the axis x. It is independent of the x. So that's why in the place of the 8 phi square m upon h square into e, we take k square. Okay, as a result, what happens? The equation 4 becomes as dx square psi upon h square in plus kx square psi is equal to 0. We consider it as the equation 6. Equation 6. Yes. Yes. Now the equation 4 changes into equation 6, that is d square psi upon h square plus k square psi is equal to 0. So this is a differential equation now. So for this differential equation we get a solution in the form of equation 7. In the form of equation 7, that is psi is equal to the a sin kx plus b cos kx. So here it is the equation 7, and k, here a b are also constants. So here in the solution 7, in the solution, that means in the equation 7, we are having three constants a, b and k. A, b and k constants. Okay, and the variable thing is x. So the variable thing is here is x. Now from the equation 7, it follows that depending upon the values of a, b and k, psi can have many values. Out of all possible values, psi are acceptable which satisfy the boundary conditions. So as already I have mentioned that in the equation 7, that is the psi is equal to the equation 7 is this one, no? Psi Ramachandra, psi is equal to the a sin kx, a sin kx plus b cos x. This is equation 7. Here the values of the equation psi value in the equation 7 depends on a, b and k. Okay na? And psi may get many values, but all are not acceptable values. Okay na? So those values of psi are acceptable which satisfy the boundary conditions. Boundary condition. So in the equation 7, now we have to apply the boundary conditions. Boundary conditions. Okay na? So from this Schrodinger equation 1, that means first of all what we have to do means we have to apply the potential energy terms to the Schrodinger equation in the single direction, in the one dimension. So secondly, what is that, we have to apply the what is the boundary conditions. Firstly we have to apply, so in this one dimension treatment, firstly we have to apply the potential energy values in the Schrodinger equation in the one dimensional, in the one direction. So in the Schrodinger equation for the one dimension, in the single direction, first of all we have to apply the potential energy terms, potential energy values. So on applying that, we will get equation 7, that is a solution for the Schrodinger equation, that is psi is equal to the a into sin of x plus b into cos of x. So then after, in the equation 7 we have to apply the boundary conditions. Okay, now we go for applying the boundary conditions for this equation. Okay, so when psi is equal to 0, and we know very well that psi is equal to 0 at x is equal to 0 and x is equal to a, the amplitude of the electronic wave at the boundaries is 0, because the electron is moving or the particle is moving within the boundaries, no? So at the boundaries, the its amplitude or psi becomes zero. So we go for the first condition, that is psi is equal to 0 and x is equal to 0. So this is one boundary condition, x is equal to 0. So whenever we apply x is equal to 0 boundary condition, equation 7 becomes as 0. Sin is equal to 0 is equal to the a sin 0 plus b cos 0. And we know very well that sin 0 value is 0. Sin 0 value is 0 and cos 0 value is 1. Sin 0 is equal to 0 but cos 0 is equal to 1. So here we get 0 plus b. That means b is equal to 0. B is equal to the 0. So as the b is equal to the 0, we can neglect b. Otherwise we can remove b term from the equation 7. What is equation 7? Psi is equal to the a sin cos x, a sin x plus b cos x. So this is equation 7. As b is equal to 0, the overall term becomes 0. So there is no need to take this second term. That means b into cos x. So the equation 7 reduces to the psi is equal to the a sin kx. So this is a solution for the Schrodinger equation for a particle which is moving in a one-dimensional box. Okay. Yes. Now now we go for the second boundary condition, that x is equal to a. In the previous equation we have applied x is equal to 0, but now we are applying x is equal to a. Now when we apply this one, what happens? The equation 7 becomes as psi is equal to 0 into a sin ka plus 0, because b term becomes 0, no? So that here we write 0. As a result, what happens? A sin ka, otherwise sin ka becomes 0. Sin ka becomes 0. So this is very important point here we have to remember. And here the sin k into a becomes 0 whenever ka has some integral multiple values of pi. That means ka should be equal to the n pi values. Ka should be equal to the n pi values. Then only sin into ka becomes 0. So then the n should get 0, 1, 2, 3. N may get 0 or 1, 2, 3, 4 and so other values, integer values, but it never gets fractional values. Okay. So like that. So this is the important point we have derived here. So thus ka is equal to n phi. Then what happens? The value of n0 can be excluded, because that makes k is equal to 0 and hence psi is equal to 0 for any value of between 0 and a. So if we take n is equal to 0, then psi becomes 0. Psi becomes 0 for any value between 0 and a. That means there will be no meaning in the existence of the particle in the limits x is equal to 0 to x is equal to a. Whenever we take what is that n is equal to 0, n is equal to 0, then psi becomes 0 value, psi becomes 0 even in the box, then there will be no meaning in that one. As a result, we should not consider n is equal to 0, and we can accept the other values 1 2 3 4 and so on. And the equation now k a is equal to n pi becomes as k is equal to the n pi upon a, k is equal to the n pi upon a. So we consider as the equation 9, we consider it as the equation 9. Now we have to substitute this equation 9 in what is that, psi is equal to now we have to substitute this equation 9 in this equation. Psi is equal to, this is the 7th equation only, but somewhat changed, so we are considered as the equation 8. Okay na? So now we apply k is equal to the n pi upon a in the psi is equal to a sin into kx. Then what happens, this equation becomes as psi is equal to the a sin into n pi upon a into x. We consider it as the equation 10, equation 10. Okay na? So also the expression for the eigenvalues of the energy, and from other sources here we came to know that the energy can be calculated by the equation k into hx square hx square upon 8 phi square m. We consider it as the equation 11, equation 11. Okay na? And from the equation 9 we have the k value, so we can substitute equation 9 in the equation 11. As a result, what do we get? Look here, we get this equation. Look here, E is equal to the n pi upon a whole to the power of square into h square upon 8 phi square m. And simplifying the equation, we get E is equal to the n square h square upon 8 mx square, 8 mx square. And the equation 10 and 12 are the solution of Schrodinger equation for a particle in one-dimensional box. So here equation 12 is the equation that helps in the calculation of the energy of a particle that is moving in the one-dimensional box. Okay, that is E is equal to the n square into h square upon 8 mx square. This is equation 10 and equation 12. In equation, what is equation 10? Once again we try to recollect. That is psi is equal to the a into sin n phi upon a. So we write once again, then the equation. Psi is equal to the Hare Ramachandra. Psi is equal to the a sin n phi upon a into x. So this is that equation 10, and this is equation 12. Okay, now we discuss about the, so from the equation 12, okay, one second, otherwise, okay, this is equation 12 only, no? So here already we have discussed that n may not get the 0 value, so as a result we can say that energy in the, one dimensional box is quantized. In the one dimensional box is quantized. Okay na? And n may get 1 2 3 4 and so on values. That means it has some integer value. Okay na? Here n is the mass of the particle and a is the length of the box. And look here, on applying n is equal to 1, we get this one, and n is equal to 2 and n is equal to 3. So these are the energies of the particle moving in the one dimensional box. Okay na? So some energy gaps are there between them. That means these energies are quantized. So from Schrodinger equation, we came to the concept of the quantization. Okay na? And here we have to remember that the energy values depend on the n value as well as on the a value. That means on the both these terms the energy value depend. Here a means the boundaries. A means the boundaries of the one dimensional box, and as the boundary value increases, the separation of the energy levels decreases. That means they come close to each other. As the a value increases, the energy levels come close to each other. That means energy difference decreases. Look at energy difference. Energy gap is high, energy gap is less, energy gap is still less. So here when the boundary is increased enormously, then the rules change from quantum mechanics to the classical mechanics. The rules that are to be applied on the particle depend on the boundaries in which that particle is moving. Okay, if the boundaries are very less, that means the length of the one dimensional box is very less, then it fall under the quantum mechanics. If the boundaries are very large, then the particle comes or falls under the classical mechanics. So then in the classical mechanics we apply the Newton's equation, Newton's law of motions. Okay, so these are the same things what are explained by me. Okay na? Yes, now we go for another term, that is the 0 point energy. So, and already we have discussed that the value of n never becomes 0, and the minimum value for n is equal to 1. As a result, the minimum energy for the particle is h square by 8 meh square. So this is the lowest energy for a particle moving in the one dimensional box. That means the motion of the electrons will never be arrested even at 0 Kelvin temperature. So this quantity h square upon 8 meh square is considered as the 0 point energy, because it is the lowest possible energy and the energy of the particle never becomes 0. So such minimum energy here is called as the 0 point energy. So here from the discussion about the particle in the one dimensional box, we came to the concept of the quantization. Okay na? So first of all, what we have to do means we have to apply the potential energy values on the Schrodinger equation written for the particle in the one dimensional box. There we get a differentiation equation, that is d square psi upon dx square plus what is that, d square psi upon dx square plus 4 phi square psi h square is equal to 0. So we get that equation, and on solving that, for that differential equation, we have a solution, that is psi is equal to the a sin kx plus b cos a sin x plus b cos x. So for this solution, we have to apply the boundary conditions, that is x is equal to 0 one time and x is equal to a for the another time. On applying, so we will get what is that, a equation where psi is equal to the a sin kx, and from that we get sin ka is equal to the 0 concept. Sin ka is equal to 0, and the sin ka becomes 0 whenever the value of k becomes equal, ka becomes equal to the n pi, ka becomes n phi, then only whenever whenever ka becomes equal to the n pi, then only sin into ka becomes 0. So from this we got the concept of the quantization. Okay, na? Right. And we have understood that there will be no difference between the concept of quantization and the classical mechanics, but we have to apply these two depending on the conditions. That point we have to remember. Okay, na? So that's all for this video. In this video, thank you.